If you're thinking of booking Liberty of the Seas, there are a few things you really need to know before you sail. She's had a big 2026 amplification, but she's still not a brand new ship. In this video, I'll take you through 10 things to know about Liberty of the Seas, including what's included, what costs extra, and what the ship is really like after the refit. The first thing to know is that Liberty of the Seas is a large Royal Caribbean ship, but she isn't one of the newest ships in the fleet. Liberty of the Seas is a Freedom-class ship, so she has that classic Royal Caribbean big ship feel. You've got the Royal Promenade running through the middle of the ship, a large pool deck, the FlowRider, water slides, mini golf, a climbing wall, Studio B ice rink, the Royal Theatre, a big buffet, multiple bars, and lots of different places to eat and drink. So if you're used to smaller ships, Liberty can feel very impressive when you first step on board. The second thing to know is what actually changed in the 2026 Liberty of the Seas amplification. And the big thing to understand is that some areas changed quite a lot, but the whole ship hasn't been made new. The biggest changes are around the pool deck. The lime and coconut has replaced the old pool bar area, and that gives Deck 11 and Deck 12 a much fresher, brighter feel. El Loco Fresh has also been added on the pool deck, which is a really useful, included casual food option if you want something quick without going into the Windjammer. Cantina Fresca has been added beside it for drinks, and there are new resort-style seating areas and casitas around the pool area. There have also been changes inside the ship. Izumi Teppanyaki has replaced Sabor on Deck 4, Starbucks has been added opposite Boleros, Casino Royale has been expanded, and the Royal Escape Room has replaced the old Connoisseur Club on Deck 5. New cabins have also been added in several parts of the ship. But Liberty of the Seas originally launched in 2007, so although she has had updates over the years, and a major 2026 amplification, she still isn't going to feel like one of Royal Caribbean's newest ships. The third thing to know is what's included and what costs extra. Your cruise fare includes your cabin, several dining options, most theatre entertainment, live music, the ice show, pools, hot tubs, the FlowRider, the climbing wall, mini golf, and plenty of activities around the ship. But there are also things that cost extra. Specialty restaurants all come at an additional cost. Drinks packages, Wi-Fi, spa treatments, casino spend, shore excursions, arcade games, the key, private casitas, and some bookable activities can all add to the final bill. And with Royal Caribbean, prices can change before you sail. Drinks packages, dining packages, internet, and the key often use dynamic pricing. That's why it's worth checking the Royal Caribbean app regularly before your cruise. A useful tip is that if you book something and the price drops later, you can usually cancel and rebook it at the lower price before sailing. The fourth thing to know is that Liberty of the Seas has a good mix of included and extra charge dining options. For included food, you've got the main dining room, which is spread across 3 decks. This is where you'll have waiter service dining in the evening. The main dining rooms on Deck 3 will also be open for breakfast every day and lunch on a sea day. With Royal Caribbean, you'll normally have either fixed dining or my time dining in the main dining room for your evening meal. Fixed dining means you're given a set dining time, table, and dining room each evening. My time dining lets you eat dinner in the main dining room at your preferred time each evening, rather than having a fixed dining time and table. So it's worth checking your SeaPass card once your cabin is ready, because that will usually show your dining arrangements. You've also got the Windjammer buffet at the aft of Deck 11, and that's the main buffet on board. It's open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it's probably where a lot of passengers will eat most often, especially on busy port days or if they want something casual. Then, on the Royal Promenade, you've got Sorrento's for pizza and Café Promenade for snacks, cakes, and sandwiches. And after the refit, Liberty of the Seas now has El Loco Fresh on Deck 11. You've also got Sprinkles by the pool, which is the soft-serve ice cream station, and you can also order breakfast to your cabin free of charge. Fill in the order menu and pop it on your cabin door before you go to bed. For paid options, you've got Chops Grille, which is Royal Caribbean's steakhouse, Giovanni's table for Italian, Izumi Teppanyaki for hibachi-style dining, and Johnny Rockets up on Deck 12. You can also order room service to your cabin. I'll be doing a full Liberty of the Seas dining options guide as part of this series. The fifth thing to know is that Royal Caribbean's embarkation process is very app-led. Download the app before you sail. Check in as soon as it opens if you want an earlier arrival time. And keep your passport, boarding pass, medication, charges and valuables in your hand luggage on embarkation day. Once on board, complete your e-muster check-in early and remember that the Windjammer can get busy at lunchtime. On Liberty of the Seas, El Loco Fresh, Sorrento's Pizza, and Café Promenade give you extra options if you want something quicker. Disembarkation is similar in that it helps to know the process before the final morning. Royal Caribbean will usually give you luggage tags with a departure group, and if you put your suitcase outside your cabin the night before, you'll collect it in the terminal after you leave the ship. If you want to get off earlier, self-assist disembarkation is available. That means you carry your own bags off the ship, but you do need to be able to manage them yourself. The sixth thing to know is that Liberty of the Seas has loads going on, especially if you like an active ship. This is where Royal Caribbean usually does very well. You've got the FlowRider surf simulator, the rock climbing wall, mini golf, sports court, water slides, pools, hot tubs, splashaway bay for children, and the solarium for adults. Studio B is the ice rink, and this is one of the things that makes Royal Caribbean feel different from many other cruise lines. The ice shows are usually very popular, and even if you don't normally go to cruise ship shows, I'd still recommend seeing one, because it's quite impressive to have that kind of production at sea. Then you've got the Royal Theatre, which hosts main shows, guest entertainers, and other performances depending on the sailing. Around the ship, there are quizzes, live music, game shows, karaoke, parties, events on the Royal Promenade, and different activities throughout the day. After the refit, Liberty of the Seas also now has the Royal Escape Room on Deck 5. This replaced the old Connoisseur Club, and it adds another bookable activity on board. The seventh thing to know is that Liberty of the Seas is very family-friendly. But it isn't only for families. If you're traveling with children, there's a lot on board to do. You've got Splashaway Bay, the pools, water slides, mini golf, the sports court, FlowRider, ice skating, kids' activities, and the arcade. You also have lots of casual dining options, which are suitable for children. These include the Windjammer buffet, Sorrento's pizza, and sprinkles for soft scoop ice cream. There is also Adventure Ocean, which is Royal Caribbean's kids' club area, which is free to use. It's been refreshed as part of the recent amplification, but it's worth knowing that the space is now smaller than it used to be, because some of the surrounding Deck 12 area has been used for new cabins. The eighth thing to know is that cabins on Liberty of the Seas can vary, so choose carefully. The ship has had cabins added and updated at different times, including new cabins as part of the 2026 amplification, so not every cabin feels the same age or style. I did Liberty of the Seas as a back-to-back cruise, and stayed in two different balcony cabins, one on Deck 8 and one on Deck 12. The Deck 8 balcony cabin was absolutely fine and had everything I needed, but it felt more dated. The Deck 12 balcony cabin felt fresher, because some cabins in that area had already been added or updated before the 2026 amplification. So if you're asking whether the cabins on Liberty of the Seas feel modern, the honest answer is that it depends which cabin you're in. Location matters too. Higher decks are useful for the pool deck and Windjammer, while mid-level decks work well for the Royal Promenade. If you're worried about movement, midship and lower down is usually the safer choice. And if you book a guarantee cabin, you may save money, but you won't have the same control over where you end up. The ninth thing to know is that you don't need to buy Wi-Fi just to use the Royal Caribbean app on board. Before you leave home, download the Royal Caribbean app and make sure you're logged in. Don't wait until you're at the terminal or already on the ship, because you'll use the app for your boarding pass, safety information, daily planner, dining times, activity schedules, and some bookings. Once you're on board, put your phone into airplane mode first, then turn Wi-Fi back on and connect to the ship's Wi-Fi network. The app works through the ship's Wi-Fi, but that doesn't mean you've bought an internet package. If you want to browse online, use social media, check emails, use WhatsApp properly, then you'll need to pay for VOOM internet. It's usually cheaper to buy VOOM before you travel, rather than waiting until you're on board. And because Royal Caribbean uses dynamic pricing, keep checking the price before your cruise. If you buy it and the price drops later, you can usually cancel and rebook at the lower price. The 10th thing to know is that it's worth packing for a mixed cruise experience on Liberty of the Seas. You'll want swimwear in your hand luggage on embarkation day, so you're not waiting for your suitcase before you can use the pool deck. You'll also want casual clothes for sea days and a light layer, because indoor areas like the Royal Theatre and Studio B can feel cool in the evening. Liberty of the Seas also has a formal night, a white night, and other themed nights, and these usually show in the Royal Caribbean app before your cruise. However, you don't have to dress up if you don't want to, because Royal Caribbean is generally quite relaxed about dress codes. So that's the 10 things you need to know about Liberty of the Seas before you sail. If you want to see the ship properly before you book, watch my full Liberty of the Seas ship tour next.